Arizona Cardinals, with the best record in the NFL, take on NFC West Division rival, the St. Louis Rams. Rams have won 2 of their last 3 as we welcome you to the desert of the NFL on Fox with Rondé Barber. I'm Chris Myers. We welcome Colt veteran quarterback on his bye week, Matt Hasselbeck, to call the game with us.
Glad to be here.
Yeah,
no place I'd rather be.
Then at a game, it'll be exciting. We'll get the quarterback perspective, the defensive back perspective, and Carson Palmer going up against a Ram defense, and there's Jeff Fisher with his young quarterback, and they're going to get the ball first. Rams won the toss and won of the ball. Benny Cunningham, who's done a good job returning kicks this year, and the rookie Chandler Catanzaro ready to kick off week 10. 7-1 Cardinals, 3-5 Rams is happening here in the Valley of the Sun, and a touchback. So the Ram offense will start out at the 20-yard line. Austin Davis, technically second-year player, but he's come up with a couple of wins, bounced around, an undrafted free agent, but broke records of Brett Favre at Southern Mississippi, and on the spot was the 4th quarterback in training camp. Injuries to Sam Bradford have put him on the spot here, but he has led the Rams to some inspired victories and up against a tough challenge today. The rookie Trey Mason starts in the backfield. Austin Davis will keep and slide. And in the backfield with the rookie Trey Mason and Austin Davis on the receiving side of things, Jared Cook, the tight end, leads them in receptions, an offensive line that has dealt with a lot of injury, but top pick Greg Robinson at left tackle coming on strong the more playing time he gets. After a gain of 3, Trey Mason knocked down right away. And that Cardinal defense, mostly a 3-4, played a lot of 4-man front last week to stop Dallas's running game.
Last week they got into that solid front with 4 deep down defensive linemen, 2 guys on the outside to stop the run. We'll probably see some of that today as well. This Arizona defense is going to have to generate a pass rush. They told us they want 3 things to happen today. Stop the run. Don't let Austin Davis extend plays and continue their streak of turnovers. It's won a lot of football games for them this year.
On 3rd down and 7. Davis goes down. It's a sack for the Cardinal defense at Calais Campbell.
Asking these guys before this game what Arizona needed to do, and yes, they only had 8 sacks coming into this game. They needed to finish off some of these sack opportunities, and they got one to start the game there.
I'll tell you, Rondé, they lined up Cromartie there at defensive end, confused them on that first look. They'll have to make adjustments on that.
Johnny Hecker punts it out of bounds, keeping it away from Ted Ginn. And the Cardinals will start with excellent field position inside their 40. And Carson Palmer celebrated the 3-year contract extension this weekend. Turns 35 years old a couple of days after Christmas.
Matt, you're a veteran in this league. What do you think about Carson Palmer? How's he played this year?
He's the perfect guy for this team right now. He's so steady. He's a pro. I mean, they've got talent on both sides of the ball, but having someone at the quarterback position like they had in Kurt Warner is so important. It's a reason they've got the best record in football right now.
And the spot up at the 41, actually. So a poor punt from Hecker sets up the Cardinals. Andre Ellington, the running back. He gets the carry. And he's been the workhorse, more than 77% of the ground game, and very much a part of the receiving game as well, although Ellington, bothered by a tendon in his foot, missed some practice time. And of course, Larry Fitzgerald, who in his career, Ram fans will tell you, in 20 career games against the Rams, he's produced 16 touchdowns. And Carson Palmer well protected by this Cardinal line. On 2nd down, 8. Ellington. It'll bring up 3rd down. And checking the defense of this Ram team, one you got to see firsthand last year.
Well, these guys up front, they've got 8 defensive linemen that are great players that can rush the passer. Off to a slow start so far this year, but last week 8 sacks against the San Francisco 49ers.
Janoris Jenkins bothered by a knee injury back in the secondary, along with Tremaine Johnson, who toughed it out for the Rams last week in their upset win over the 49ers. Here comes some flags. Ron Torbert, first-year referee.
Ball start. Offense, number 74. 5-yard penalty. Still third down.
And that call on right guard Paul Faneca. Carson Palmer has the best third down percentage of any quarterback. Best third down quarterback in the league this year.
Which is really important for any quarterback. That's where you earn your money, is on third down. You notice there he went with a longer cadence to try to get the Rams to show what they were going to do defensively. Second blitz in a row they were going to bring.
The Rams, Matt, blitz more than any team in the NFL. Right behind them are the Cardinals. They show blitz. On 3rd and 9, Palmer is going to go down. And the Rams, who had 8 sacks last week, and Robert Quinn bouncing back, leading the charge for the sack here.
Well, the Rams do a lot of what the Cardinals do. You see all these guys up here in the line of scrimmage, and they're really just bouncing out into a zone. Carson Palmer has nowhere to deliver that ball with immediately, and this Rams front four, and they're going to have to generate some pass rush with their front four, is getting after it again early in this game.
Drew Butler, the high punt. Tavon Austin gathers it in. There's a flag down back toward the line of scrimmage. Austin, a guy that the Rams want to get more involved in their offense.
During the kick, holding by the receiving team, number 22. 10-yard penalty from the end of the kick. St. Louis's ball, first down.
That's on Tremaine Johnson.
Yeah, and that's Justin Bethel, a Pro Bowl stud, special team stud for the Arizona Cardinals. They're going to have to do stuff like that to block that guy today. He's amazing.
We're seeing an early theme here with the pass rush for both of these offenses, and the defense winning at least in the first series.
Well, I think both of these teams know that getting to the quarterback and affecting the quarterback, obviously different types of quarterbacks, but that's the key to this game. It's been how they've won and how St. Louis has won their past 2 upset victories, and in order to get another one today against these Cardinals, that front four is going to have to play really well.
Austin Davis keeps and throws and drops. Jared Cook, the veteran tight end who leads the team in catches with 29, did not hold on.
Well, they believe in Austin Davis. You can tell by these early play calls. First play of the game, 7-step drop, get everybody out. Here they are backed up, using the naked bootleg. They said all along they wanted to establish the run. So far, they haven't really tried that. They've come out and given Austin Davis a chance to be the guy.
I think they know, too, Matt, that this Arizona defense, 3rd in the league against the run, they're going to have to pass the football, and that's going to mean some plays on Austin Davis's arm.
Davis blitz coming. Davis gets out of it. Flips and caught by Trey Mason. Cardinals have it covered to keep him from getting a first down, but you saw the athletic ability of Austin Davis at 6'2" and 220 pounds.
They talked about affecting him in the pocket, not letting him extend plays. Look, Gerard Powers has a clean shot on him and misses, and watch his movement in the pocket. This is why they love him, because he has the ability to escape and make some plays, and it worked out for him there.
Now on 3rd down and 2.
Gonna get a delay game here.
And they talked about a silent count that could have been transmission into the helmet. As you know, Matt, it comes in, has to shut off 15 seconds beforehand. The Rams did use a timeout before a delay game.
Yeah, and that's disappointing. I'm sure Jeff Fisher, I think his philosophy is no timeouts in the first quarter or the third quarter. They're so valuable at the end of the half and near the end of the game. So disappointing that they had to use it there.
All right. Rams use the timeout. Let's get a game break. Check in with Joel Klatt. Hey, Joel.
What's up, Chris? Let's go to the great Northwest. And Marshawn Lynch, easy touchdown. First of the day, 7-0. the defending champs over the New York Giants in the first quarter. Marshawn Lynch, 3 TDs in his last 2 games. Back to Chris, Rondé, and Matt.
All right, thank you, Joel. And in the NFC West, the defending Super Bowl champs looking up at these Cardinals, as are the 49ers. In a tough battle down in New Orleans. Now 3rd down and 2 after the timeout. Benny Cunningham, the 3rd down back in for the Rams. That's Tavon Austin in motion. Austin Davis has it. Throws it away.
Great coverage by the Rams defense right there. Rondé, man coverage situation, 3rd and 2. Do you think they saw that one coming?
You know what? Whenever Tavon Austin is in motion, Arizona knows that he becomes the primary target. That was just a quick little boot. They covered it up well. Nice job by this Arizona defense.
It really was a good play call. It's just this defense is playing so well. They're off to a great start.
Johnny Hecker backs up Ted Ginn. Fair catch inside the 25-yard line. So we've already seen the pass rush from both of these teams, but the Rams terrific in their win over the 49ers last Sunday.
Last week against San Francisco, they were able to muddle up the looks for Colin Kaepernick. He never got rid of the ball on time. And this defense, they're too fast up front, too many playmakers, and it gave him fits all day long. Huge factor in them winning that game on the road.
All right, so how does Carson Palmer counter that with a running game that's averaging less than 4 a carry?
Well, they got to try to run it if they want to run it, but they haven't needed to. They've been getting it done through the air so far this season.
Matt Hasselbeck with Rondé Barber. Chris Myers welcoming you to Arizona. Second possession, Cardinals in a scoreless opening quarter. And Palmer on the move and floats one for his tight end a little low for John Carlson.
You know, this Cardinal, you talk about the running game for the Cardinals. Andre Ellington, their starter, obviously, is not a big guy. They don't like to run the ball between the tackles with him because he just doesn't have that stature. Really, if you look at, their play calling, there's not a lot of plays that are meant to hit between the tackle. They're more of a stretch team. They're going to have to get some of it going, though, regardless of what it is today.
Checking in is Robert Hughes behind Ellington. Ellington has had 3 straight games of 21 carries or more. Ellington goes down. And the Ram defense.
Well, there's that run you're talking about, Rondé. 2nd and 10 is a very predictable rundown in the NFL. You really are kind of deathly afraid of 3rd and 10. So you run it, and that's actually what you don't want is a tackle for loss there in 3rd and 15.
They brought in Larry Johnson. He's the Z receiver now in his offense. Come in to get that crack block, and you know what? Safety versus wide receiver. Usually the safety's going to win that battle.
3 runs for Ellington for 2 yards. 3rd and 14 from inside the Cardinal 20. Palmer to Fitzgerald. They'll be short of the 1st down.
Flag.
And here comes a flag on the back end of the play.
You're going to have a late hit here on the offensive lineman, Paul Fanaika. It's kind of tough. You're trying to play to the whistle. The officials were a little bit late with the whistle there, but he's going to get the flag. It's going to back him up even more.
After the play was over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, offense, number 74, 15-yard penalty from the end of the play. The down counts. It's 4th down.
That's his 2nd penalty in 2 series.
Yeah, watch to the right of your screen. Just see him pull in and completely run through the corner there.
LaMarcus Joyner.
I'll tell you something early on right here, guys. They brought Greg Williams and the Rams defense brought blitz early. The last couple times they've been bluffing it and getting out of there, trying to disguise as much as they can.
So it backs up the Cardinals. Drew Butler, son of Kevin Butler, the former Bear and Cardinal kicker, is in for Zastudil, injured all season long, and the fair catch called for at the Ram 39-yard line. Let's get another game break. Check back in with Joel Klatt. Joel was going to tell us about the Lions winning earlier at home, and they, of course, improved to 7-2 and will play next Sunday here against the Arizona Cardinals in a game you'll see on Fox. Well, Matt, for Austin Davis, he said he didn't have time to set goals. He was just trying to hang around in the league, and all of a sudden he's starting for the Rams, staging the upsets we talked about, and up against a defense that has been brutal on opposing offenses with his third try here in the opening quarter. 1st and 10, but better field position. Trey Mason across the 40.
Well, I'll tell you, just talking to everybody in that organization, they really like this guy, Austin Davis. And that's half the battle. When you have the respect and the trust of your teammates, that's such an important thing that I don't know if you can quantify. The experience and the plays on the field, that's what's got to come next.
And he talks about every day having to earn that trust, because it's easy to believe in the high pick guy, but when you're the 4th guy on the roster to start the year, you got to go in every single week and prove that they can believe in you.
2nd down 7. Davis throws to Tavon Austin, who slips a tackle, is dancing around and is loose. Tavon Austin knocked out at the 40 of Arizona. Tyrann Mathieu may have saved a touchdown.
Well, I don't even know what to say. Tavon Austin, that was an amazing play. Great play call by Todd Bowles in Arizona, but sometimes you have the perfect play call on, and then just an amazing player makes an amazing play, and that's what happens.
Well, this is the 2nd time Gerard Powers has had somebody in his grasp and slipped through. And this Cardinals defense is known for not missing tackles. They're number 1 in the league in missed tackles. And Tavon Austin made that whole defense look silly there.
A gain of 18, spotted actually at the 41 of the Cardinals. Trey Mason gets the carry, big hole, gets down inside the 35. Mason starting his 2nd game, the 5'8" running back drafted in the 3rd round from Auburn, and comes in basically because Zach Stacy, Benny Cunningham don't have the breakaway speed that he does.
Well, I'll tell you what it is. If there's a 4-yard run designed to get 4 yards, those two are going to get 4 yards. This kid can make it 40. Easy decision for Coach Fisher to put him in once he figured out how to play in this offense.
It'll be Mason again. Mason has a 1st down. He's inside the 20 of the Cardinals.
This is exactly what they want to do. They want to establish the run. They want to feed him. They want to keep Carson Palmer on the bench. You see the offensive line of the St. Louis Rams. I'm sure they were challenged in their meetings last night against this Arizona defensive line that's so good against the run. I'm sure they were challenged, and right now they're accepting that challenge, and Trey Mason's off to a great start.
A gain of 16. Already in field goal range here. Mason remains the back. He gets the carry, and this time the Cardinals stop him after a gain of about a yard. Trey Mason was inactive in the first 4 games. Then he started against San Francisco last week. In the last few games, he's been a little bit more involved. Was the SEC Offensive Player of the Year at Auburn and the MVP of the SEC Championship game. Now he's running in the NFL.
Rookies come into this league. They have a lot to learn, and Coach Fisher said as soon as he picked up the blitz schemes, they were ready to play him, and that's why we've seen him the last 2 weeks.
Here in Arizona, the Rams and Cardinals with a flag, stopping a 2nd down play. With Rondé Barber and Matt Hasselbeck, I'm Chris Myers.
Neutral zone infraction. Defense, number 72. 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
Call on Ed Stinson and Bruce Arians upset. Scoreless here in the opening quarter. Want to welcome those of you that watched the 49ers win in overtime down in New Orleans. Of course, chasing the Cardinals in the NFC West, as are the Rams and the Seahawks, who are leading the Giants at last check. Benny Cunningham remains the back on 2nd and 5. Tavon Austin in motion. And he gets the carry, waiting for a block. Austin has a 1st down. He is inside the 5-yard line. His 2nd dazzling run in this opening quarter.
Well, Rondé said it earlier. They're going to find ways to get him the ball. Arizona's looking for it. It's still Tavon Austin's making it happen.
Important thing here is Jared Cook's block out front. Tyrann Mathieu was set up to make that play, but get a lead blocker, and Tavon Austin has such good change of direction, such good quickness. You get him in space, and he is very dangerous.
After a gain of 10, Benny Cunningham checks in on 1st and goal Rams. Cunningham has the carry. Benny Cunningham has a touchdown Rams.
talked about this Rams team needing to run the football. They came out their first couple of possessions. They were trying to establish the run or the pass. But on this drive, they went all the way down the field running the football. Bring in Benny Cunningham, nice cutback run. Great blocking up front, falls in for the easy touchdown.
Greg Zuerlein on to try the extra point. The emotion from Jeff Fisher. He and his Rams relish the underdog role. He said, I don't really have any choice with this young team. After knocking off Seattle and San Francisco, they take the lead on the division leaders and the team with the best record in football. Benny Cunningham and the Rams lead in Arizona 7-0. We welcome you back with Rondé Barber, Matt Hasselbeck, Chris Myers, and Tavon Austin. Still looking for his first touchdown of this season anyway, in the air, on the ground, but it was his tough running that set up the Benny Cunningham score.
Well, it's clear in these first couple of drives that Tavon Austin is going to be the focus of this offense. We didn't get to talk about it in the open, but Brian Quick went to IR at wide receiver, and they need somebody to step up. It'll be Austin Davis and Stedman Bailey getting their opportunities starting today.
Zuerlein and holding up. There's a whistle here before he kicks off. Looks like a flag down. Back on the Cardinals end zone area. Again, that's Ron Torbert, our referee. Maybe he just...
Now he's trying to call for a delay of game here, and the official back by the kicker is saying, hey, no, give him a new clock. Give him a new clock.
Delay of game by the kicking team. 5-yard penalty. Will re-kick from the 30-yard line.
Well, that was awkward.
And right after you said that, the official's like, no, throw the flag, throw the flag.
Well, they work as a team. These guys work as a team. That's one of the things I don't think people realize. The officials, they really do have a good chemistry on the better groups.
But that's highly unusual on a kickoff.
I've never seen this.
Delay a game. All right, and maybe that's the special teams coach John Fossil with Jeff Fisher. And of course, they've had some zany special teams plays, have the Rams, that have worked and created success.
Son of Jim Fossil, saw him on the sidelines before the game.
Former head coach in the NFL. And so that backs up the Rams 5 yards. Delay a game. Zuerlein says take that. And Ted Ginn is going to bring it out of the end zone. And get stopped short of the 17-yard line. Benny Cunningham with his 4th touchdown in his last 6 games has the Rams in front. Devoted Cardinal fans here in the Valley of the Sun enjoying the fast start for their team at 7-1. Best record in 40 years for the Cardinal organization. Yes, we salute our troops, thinking of you on Veterans Day. 4.5 minutes remaining here in the opening quarter. Ellington in the slot as a receiver. Palmer with time on first down. On target, and what a grab. Snared out of the air, Michael Floyd.
Well, one thing we know about Bruce Arians, he likes to spread people out, and with this defense in particular, they like to blitz, they like to show pressure. He's going to give Carson Palmer those spread the field looks so we can find out where the pressure's coming from.
And Arians calls the plays, of course, good enough for a first down. Floyd hasn't been targeted much lately. He was earlier in the year, averaging 17 yards a catch for this Cardinal team. And Ellington remains the back. He gets the carry, and he has room to run. Slips a tackle and then falls down after a couple. Janoris Jenkins back in that Rams starting lineup on the stop.
Michael Floyd is a big physical receiver. You know, you need that in the running game here. You see him coming down, and then Ellington, physical in his own right, says no tackle there.
Robert Hughes checks in the backfield with Andre Ellington. Stephon Taylor for the Cardinals inactive today. Marion Grice, the former Arizona State star, a backup running back, is active. On 2nd and 7, Palmer goes down. Second sack of the game for the Rams. Coming from his safety spot, T.J. McDonald.
Well, you know Greg Williams loves to blitz. He's almost indiscriminate when he calls it. Second down is as good as third down. And watch your running back here try to pick up this blitzing safety right here. He just olays him. I'm sorry, he was on the fullback. Just olays him. clean onto the quarterback.
I'll tell you too, Rondé, that's the old Buddy Ryan 46 defense with the Chicago Bears that Jeff Fisher learned under him as a player.
He's been sacked twice already. Palmer had been sacked just 6 times the entire season coming into the game. Bryce checks in on 3rd down. Palmer has to step up in the pocket and go underneath, and it's dropped. John Carlson, who had drops last week, even though he had a touchdown catch, couldn't hold that one.
Well, that was going to be a punt either way there. Again, Greg Williams and the Rams showing pressure and then getting out of it, trying to keep this Arizona offense guessing.
Talked about Arizona's defense a lot. You know, the looks that we're seeing so far from St. Louis mimic them.
Butler booms it out of there. Tavon Austin will run. Not far. Knocked down right away at the 32. Lorenzo Alexander, the special teams captain of the Arizona Cardinals, former Pro Bowler at that position. Cardinals and Rams over the years, 70 meetings in the regular season, tied right down the middle. 34 wins each with 2 ties. Of course, they have both intersected through St. Louis, where the Rams have been for 20 years now. Austin Davis will dump it to Trey Mason. And he'll be tackled right at the 35 by Larry Foote. Let's check in with Kurt Menefee.
Well, some of your audience left the end of the 49ers-Saints game, and this is how it finished. Drew Brees gets stripped. This is in overtime. Chris Borland, the rookie, recovers. Very next play, it wasn't pretty, but Phil Dawson gets it through from 35 yards out. 49ers get the win, 27-24 in overtime. Chris, Rondé, and Matt.
Thank you, Kurt. Matt Hasselbeck with us, an active quarterback for the Colts on his bye week, working with Rondé and I. Chris Gibbons will lose yardage. Antonio Cromartie on the stop.
Nobody fooled there, Rondé. No, we talked about them keying on Tavon Austin, but they should have given it to him on that one.
Chris Gibbons there had no chance. 3 Cardinals could have made that hit on that screen pass. It's funny, the Tavon Austin one-on-one had to beat. Tavon Austin did it. Chris Gibbons wasn't able to get away with it.
The Cardinals don't miss tackles. That graphic tells you how good they are. And now a 3rd and 11. A screen set up to Benny Cunningham, and he will be short of the 1st down. Stopped just across the 35 of the Rams, and it was Larry Foote and Jarrod Powers.
Better sequence on defense for Arizona. We didn't talk about that first play of that drive, but Larry Foote made a great play to limit that first play to 1 yard. Then you get the negative yardage play and drop back and play in zone on 3rd down, able to get off the field.
Larry Foote, who has helped the veteran, former Steeler. Hecker last time had a 55-yarder. Again, waving everybody away. This goes out of bounds. Cardinals trail 7-0, but they have the football here in the Valley of the Sun. Fox at Fox Sports 1, a place to be Saturday for college football and the playoff implications. Washington taking on 19th ranked Arizona, 6th ranked TCU against Kansas, 3 Eastern on Fox and Fox Sports 1, and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Jake Plummer, former Cardinal quarterback, ASU star, big upset in Arizona.
Wait, Jake Plummer, which one? The one on the right or the left?
He's the bearded one.
Okay,
he rang the siren, got the crowd fired up. Andre Ellington on the carry. And T.J. McDonald with a tough hit as the first quarter will wind down. And only 9 yards rushing in the opening quarter for the Cardinals. They've had 3 penalties. Their quarterback has been sacked twice. A bit of a slow start for the leaders of the NFC West, as the Rams lead it by the score of 7-0 after 1. And we welcome you back. Dressed up, ready to go with Rondé Barber, Matt Hasselbeck, and the Colts joining us at his bye week. Chris Myers here. Those 18 yards in the first quarter, a season low on offense for Arizona. On 2nd and 8 from just across their own 35. Ellington now splits over in the slot. And Palmer, who's been sacked twice, gets rid of it to Ellington, who's tackled right away. Again, T.J. McDonald has been all over the field already.
Well, another empty backfield by Bruce Arians in this Arizona offense. They clearly thought that this was the way to attack these guys coming into this game. Curious to see if they make some adjustments.
Also to note, Mark Barron, just acquired from Tampa Bay, being used as a third safety. He was the one on that pressure just now.
A top 10 draft pick by the Buccaneers. The Rams picked him up for a 4th and a 6th. 4 wide receivers. On 3rd down and 5. Pressure coming. Palmer throwing. Caught. First down. Jerron Brown.
Well, 4 wide receivers and 1 tight end and no running back in there on that play. But I'll tell you the key is it's 3rd and 5. And here's Jerron Brown, a guy that Carson has trust in. Everybody on this team says this guy's a future star. Been a star in special teams for him. Making a play on offense. But 3rd and 5 is the key.
Jerron Brown, 4 of his 5 catches of the season coming in the last 3 games. Tack on another one after a first down catch of 15 yards. Palmer throws, falling for the catch is John Brown, not Jerron. John's the rookie from Pittsburgh State. Jerron's the second-year player from Clemson.
Good rhythm by this offense these last couple of plays, and this is a great catch here by John Brown. Going down low, concentrating, and getting underneath that ball.
They got weapons on this offense. It's fun to watch when they get going.
The rookie John Brown has 2 catches at least in every game. Ellington checks back in after a 13-yard catch at a first down. Cardinals on the move. Middle of the field, Fitzgerald. Larry Fitzgerald to the 19.
Matt, these guys doing a great job changing personnel. We've seen 3 wide receivers, 2 tight ends. The rhythm that Bruce Arians established, they're subbing in John Brown in now. But Larry Fitzgerald, the consummate, he got the play action pass, drove up those linebackers. Carson Palmer finds them right over the top of their heads for a big play.
158 games with at least 1 catch dating all the way back to his rookie season against Buffalo. Still has a step on Father Time. Ellington.
They fake the reverse there. They're setting that up. They're running that play there. There's a throwaway run there on first down. And they're saying, okay, is the reverse to John Brown going to be there later in the game? That's what these coaches up in the press box are looking at. And I'll tell you right now, it was not there. So I don't know if we're going to see that play anytime soon.
Well, Greg Williams has a bunch of blitzes, a lot of pressure, 4 or 5 guys standing at the line of scrimmage, or 5 or 6 guys standing at the line of scrimmage. So they put some stress on those guys on the back end. They've been good so far, following those ghost reverses and whatnot.
Tight end split out bottom of your screen. Pressure coming on Palmer. Gets out of it and completes to Fitzgerald. It's going to be 1st and goal Cardinals.
Well, LaMarcus Joyner has a free shot at Carson Palmer. I don't know if people realize how big and strong Carson Palmer is. Every bit of 6'5", 235.
See the pressure here off the left side, right side of Carson Palmer, and he sees it because it's in his point of view. He does a nice job reducing that shoulder and getting the ball out to his receiver.
And LaMarcus Joyner is injured, the rookie from Florida State. We're just talking about being involved in that last play. We will continue in Arizona in just a moment.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Nissan. Innovation that excites. By Domino's. Oh, yes, we did. And by the all-new LG G3, the world's first smartphone with laser autofocus.
LaMarcus Joyner helped off the field. Mark Barron takes his spot in the secondary. 1st and goal Cardinals from the 3. Ellington has the football. Ellington has a Cardinal touchdown.
Well, this Cardinals offense certainly found its rhythm on this drive, and one established to run. Best way to get it going is get a toss to your running back. Valdir on the pull, right out on the corner. Big lane for that touchdown.
Left tackle Jared Valdir has been a Pro Bowl kind of player for the Cardinals, protecting Palmer and setting up runs like that. Ellington's 3rd rushing touchdown of this season, and set up after Carson Palmer went 5 for 5 on the drive. Andre Ellington reaching the end zone in that last drive. The Cardinals, after a sluggish first quarter, there's Carson Palmer talking to Larry Fitzgerald. Palmer 7 out of 9 in the game, but was perfect on that touchdown drive to tie this game here in the second quarter. Manny Cunningham, who has the touchdown run for the Rams, is back for Catanzaro's kick. If he has the opportunity in the end zone, he's bringing it out. Manny Cunningham will be loose until the 22-yard line. With Rondé Barber and Matt Hasselbeck, Chris Myers watching with you. And Matt, how about the adjustment that Carson Palmer and that Cardinal offense made from the opening quarter to that last drive?
Well, they were 0 for 3 in the first quarter. It was 3rd and 9, 3rd and 14, 3rd and 15. That's not the recipe for success. They got to win 1st and 2nd down like they did, and I think they just had a 3rd and 5 on their touchdown drive.
They've done a good job handling this pressure on that last drive too. Greg Williams, you know he's going to bring it. They were able to pick it up and make some big plays off of it.
So the Rams and 25-year-old Austin Davis with Trey Mason, the rookie running back, hoping to respond. Mason McCarron. Rams have run the ball well early. Let's check in for a game break with Kurt Benefield.
All right, the Giants on the road at Seattle. Andre Williams, the rookie, fighting his way into the end zone. 2 Seattle turnovers early in the game, helping New York. They're up 14-7 right now. Chris, Rondé, and Matt.
All right, thank you, Kurt.
Seattle keeps finding ways to shoot themselves in the foot, don't they?
6 defensive backs come in on 2nd and 9. The Rams have run the ball in the first half of this season more than any other team in the league. Not fooled. Davis goes down, and Alex Okafor wrapped him up. Let's check in down on the field with Jennifer Hale.
Well, Chris, the Rams safety LaMarcus Joyner has an injured groin. He did not want to go back to the locker room. He's icing it right now on the training table, hoping to get back in this game. His head's down. He is in some pain, but teammates like Joe Dunbar certainly encouraging him to come back for the rest of this one, Chris.
All right, having trouble hearing you. I can only imagine what Austin Davis is hearing on 3rd and 10, this crowd.
And you know what? They're late getting a substitution here. They're going to have to waste another timeout. That's
already their 2nd of this half. And the Rams do call a timeout. Rams facing a 3rd and 10, tied here at 7. Our aerial coverage today provided by DirecTV. The Super Bowl will be here 84 days from today. Pro Bowl before that. These fans worried about 3rd and 10. Cunningham in for the Rams. Pressure coming. Austin Davis hesitates and will go down. Deone Buchanan.
A lot of pressure coming there, Chris. You'll see Deone Buchanan. He's standing in the line of scrimmage right there. And he's just wait. He's got the back. And it's a delayed blitz because it's the back. Benny Cunningham blocked. He was able to replace. And they got another sack on young Austin Davis.
Johnny Hecker drives this kick to the 31. Ted Ginn has it. And it is brought down around the 39-yard line. The Cardinals, their ever-changing identity on defense, week to week, does the job here. In honor of Veterans Day, for every point scored during its 32 Salute to Service games, the NFL will donate $100 each to its nonprofit partners, the Pat Tillman Foundation, the USO, and the Wounded Warrior Project. Join the salute. Visit NFL.com/salute. Ellington from Palmer. And Andre Ellington is near midfield. Second leading receiver on this football team to go along with the ground game workload.
Great call by Bruce Arians. The Rams try to disguise and come out with that Rondé Barber Tampa 2, and a screenplay is exactly what you want to have on.
Well, watch this athleticism by Andre Ellington. Just be able to shift and cut and jump cut and everything else. He's a dangerous guy when you get him in space.
A gain of 11. He's only 5'9" and barely 200 pounds. Ellington has the football. He'll lose yardage on this one. Robert Quinn wrapped him up right away.
I'll tell you, just calling screen plays like that, even just calling a run play right there, it helps these offensive linemen later in the game when they, against a defensive pass rush like these Rams, 7-step drop, 5-step drop, empty backfield. It helps to mix these things in the course of the game.
Bruce Arians made a comment saying fundamentals win games, not schemes.
Coming from a guy that likes to run a lot of schemes.
And Ellington, bottom of your screen, is a receiver. Palmer the other way. Fitzgerald hangs on, but the Rams are ready. And after a rough first quarter, Carson Palmer has settled down.
It was a rough first quarter, but you know what? He protected the ball. He made some plays, and punting on third down is okay after a short completion. Come to the sideline, you make the adjustments, and then you take it down for a touchdown.
And he got into a great rhythm on that last drive. And not only the offense, but him hitting his back step, him being able to avoid some pass rush, able to move them in for a touchdown.
Marion Bryson at running back on third down. That's Fitzgerald in motion. Rams blitz. Palmer for Fitzgerald.
That is just a great throw. I mean, Rondé, there's good coverage there, but like people say, there's just no defense for the perfect throw.
There isn't, and the Rams are playing a two-deep man under defense, and there's just no way that E.J. Gaines is making a play on that ball. Matt's up here laughing.
It's fun to watch.
I'm crying.
It's fun to watch when someone's playing at such a high level. It's great to see.
A gain of 14 to the 35 of St. Louis. Going down the sideline and incomplete. Michael Floyd the target, and as Carson Palmer said, this more than any offense, 85% of the plays we have a deep ball set up. It's just whether I'm going to go for it or not.
Well, he's got to decide every single play, every single passing play, whether he's going to reach short to deep or whether he's going to go ahead and take that shot. And it was funny because he told us Bruce Arians wants you to throw the deep ball, but he doesn't want you to throw an incompletion on the deep ball.
He said that's where he's grown the most the last year and a half here in Arizona, is deciphering when to complete or go for the deep ball. And a couple of game winners, the Eagles game here to John Brown. On 2nd and 10. Palmer the screen, Ellington trying to put a move on. And no, excellent tackle by T.J. McDonald.
And it's a great play by the Rams defense, because at the 35-yard line, you figure, hey, we got 3 points in the bag right here. We got a chance with a good kicker, hasn't missed, and now all of a sudden we lost some yardage, and here we are in that dreaded third and forever situation.
T.J. McDonald is all over the field today, man. It's like whenever there's a screen play, he's down in the box. He's the one making the tackle. He had the sack earlier on Carson Palmer.
Playing against his dad's former team. He's fired up.
No doubt.
So a long field goal if they get nothing at 57 yards here on third down. Larry Fitzgerald at the 35.
They'll have a decision to make here. Are they going to go for it? Is it a first? I think they're going to give it to him.
That's the 25-yard line near the first down sticks, and I think they're giving him the first down.
This is just cover two. You'll see usually a Mike linebacker running through here, but they're using a defensive back, sitting back in zone coverage, and there's always a void there. Carson Palmer, Larry Fitzgerald, vets find the void.
They went quickly there, running the ball to Ellington.
Yeah, I'm sure they're wondering about that spot. I thought there was a pretty generous spot, so they hurried and ran a play there.
I was caught off guard when I said 35-25, but it looked like it was not good enough for a first.
Well, Jeff Fisher's already down 2 timeouts. I'm sure he didn't want to waste one if that wasn't. I don't think he was intending to challenge that anyways.
So set up after a gain of a yard at the 25. For the end zone. Knocked away. He was trying to go to John Brown, but an excellent defensive play by the rookie E.J. Gaines.
That's that old Marvin Harrison route. You fake the short follow underneath, double move deep, and they weren't fooled this time. This is the second double move they've tried on E.J. Gaines. He's been there both times.
He's a rookie. I tried double moves on him, too. This was almost a heck of a catch.
Look at the leap by another rookie.
Johnny Brown is not that big, diminutive guy. Say it all the time about him, but, man, he was up there.
3 out of 5 on third down so far for the Cardinals. Need to get to the 15. Pressure, and it's batted away. Coming up the middle on the blitz and knocking it away was Alec Ogletree.
It's a good thing he got his hands up and got that ball batted, because there were receivers open there. I don't know if it'd be enough for the first down. It was almost like they were content taking the 3 points.
The rookie Chandler Catanzaro, who has been perfect to start his pro career. 15 out of 16 consecutive, I should say. And this a 43-yarder. He would tie Kai Forback with 17 consecutive if he's, and he is. The free agent rookie kicker making history and giving the Cardinals the lead. Welcome you back, fans, having a good time. Big weekend here in the Valley of the Sun with a NASCAR race. Arizona State playing, the Cardinals on a roll. And Chandler Catanzaro, what a find. Actually, Bruce Arians' son helped evaluate him so that he could be signed by the Cardinals as a free agent, and he hadn't missed a field goal. Kicking off, Cunningham goes through the end zone. Fox tonight, big last. The Simpsons go back to the Futurama. Eva Longoria is also on the program, joining Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Great new episode of Family Guy and Mulaney. Sunday Fun Day tonight, 8 Eastern, 7 Central on Fox. Matt Hasselbeck with Rondé Barber. Now, early assessment of Austin Davis making his 8th NFL start.
He's playing well. He's under pressure. I mean, he's got to have, more third and manageable situations. And the way to do that is to win better, win more on first down and second down.
Does this Cardinal defense doubt how well he can throw against him?
I think they do, but he is a gamer. We know that. We've seen it in the games, the tough games he's won, Seattle and San Francisco. He'll give them a fight.
Davis to the tight end. Lance Kendricks with a block and a first down across the 30.
You want to help your young quarterback. This is the perfect way to do it. Some designed pocket movement, whether it's him out of the backfield running the football, which they tried earlier in the game, or these little boots where he has an immediate throw to get the ball out of his hands. Good play there. Good play call there by Brian Schottenheimer.
Offensive coordinator Brian Schottenheimer said, I'm calling the plays, but I do trust Austin Davis enough. He's been with our team as Sam Bradford looks on, that he can change the play if he needs to. After a gain of 12, it's Trey Mason. Going nowhere. Remember, this Cardinal team, they're only giving up, less than 80 yards a game on the ground, and they haven't allowed a 100-yard rusher in 18 straight games.
We saw some early success with St. Louis running the football, but we know how stout these guys are up front on Arizona. You try to stretch them, try to run to the sideline, they're just too big and fast. It's quick hitting. If they're going to run the football, it's got to be downhill.
Sorry, Chris. And they got to come up with creative ways like they're doing with those quarterback bootlegs. That's an extension of the running game.
On 2nd and 10. Pass is caught. Kenny Brent up near the first down marker. And it is a first down for the Rams. Matt, let me ask you, they made a big deal last week about this 3-4 Arizona defense going to a 4-3. What have they been doing this afternoon?
They've been mixing it up, and Todd Bowles, he's a master of it. One thing you know when you play a team like this, you don't know what you're going to get Saturday night. Once that game starts, you get 2 or 3 drives into the game, then you know what you're pretty much going to get for the rest of the day.
First down from the 43 of the Rams. Here comes a flag. It's like one of the Rams may have moved there.
Yeah, it's going to be a false start.
False start. Offense. Number 72. 5-yard penalty. still first down.
But to build on what Matt was saying about this Cardinals defense, you know, that last week against Dallas, everybody was so astounded by the 4 down linemen, the 2 guys on the line of scrimmage, a solid front. Today, it's more back to the 3-4 base looks that they've been doing. But for the most part, we've seen 6 or 7 DBs on the grass the entire day.
And this crowd, the Cardinals, have put 121 false starts by opponents since they moved into this stadium in 2006. That's the most among NFL teams at home during that time. Mason cutting it outside, dragged down, where it'll be 3rd down. Larry Foote, who continues to do the job on 2nd down. Larry Foote, the 13-year veteran.
I'll tell you, one of the things about watching this defense, Larry Foote stands out. Here's a guy, a 13-year guy, you know, minimum salary guy, making plays all over that field. And I know the guys in front of him are good. He'd be the first to tell you, but he's playing good football.
We all know the story. He was brought in just to be a backup. Some guys go down. He's been one of their most consistent defenders all year long.
Second and 11 for Cook. He's got it, Jared Cook. And Jared Cook is all the way in for a touchdown, Rams. Floated perfectly by the quarterback, Austin Davis, covering 59 yards.
Well, Jared Cook, a teammate of mine in Tennessee, this guy can flat out run. I've always thought, too, Jared Cook faster once the ball's in his hands. He's running the route fast. That ball gets in his hands, and he seems like he just finds an extra gear.
Well, this is a mismatch for St. Louis when they get Cooks on Buchanan. They knew it. He had him at the start of that route. He threw up his hand and said, give me the ball, and he did.
There's a flag down in the end zone after the play.
Touchdown is good. Afterwards, unnecessary, unsportsmanlike conduct. Offense, number 13. That penalty will be enforced on the ensuing kickoff. We will play the try and then have the 2-minute warning.
Chris Givens guilty of celebrating too much for the Jared Cook touchdown. And it's interesting, Cardinal fans remember that he had a big game against them when he first joined the Rams. They are going to take a closer look at the touchdown to make sure he got into the end zone, ruled a touchdown on the field.
Timeout.
The only 2-touchdown game in Jared Cook's career came against Arizona. That was week 1 of last year. He had 7 catches for over 140 yards. But the Rams ruled a touchdown being reviewed. Ruled a touchdown on the field, Jared Cook, and after further review, seeing if the knee is down at the 1 or if he reached in. Remember, the pylon is not out of bounds. And our official has reviewed it, Ron Torbert.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. It's a touchdown.
I want you guys to take a look here at this release. Dale Buchanan's right here on Jared Cook, who's right there. And you're at the line of scrimmage. You got to get a choke technique. You miss at the line of scrimmage and you're done.
And just like you said, Rondé, for the quarterback, if you see that outside release, Jared Cook gets a outside like that and has him in a trail technique there. And that's a touch every time. 12th
touchdown pass of the season thrown by Austin Davis in his career as Greg Zuerlein comes on to kick the extra point. The penalty, remember, for excessive celebration will be tacked on to the kickoff, so that'll back up Zuerlein and the Ram kicking unit. But Austin Davis has put the underdog Rams out in front here in Arizona. Follow your favorite team all season long. Go to itunes.com/NFL. The excessive celebration penalty moves the Rams back as they kick off here.
This is dangerous when you have a guy like Ted Ginn back there. You can usually kick it out of the end zone or away from him. Give him 15 yards.
And Jeff Fisher, 3rd season with the Rams, and as one of the younger and underdog teams, you see how well he does against the powers, the playoff teams, Super Bowl teams, Seattle, San Francisco, and against Arizona. And for the Arizona Cardinals, 5, including today, 5 of their 8 remaining games are against teams in their division in the NFC West. The 49ers won today, and the Seahawks are tied at home with the Giants. Carson Palmer, a well-executed drive, getting a touchdown from Andre Ellington on the ground and then adding a field goal for the Rams. Benny Cunningham with a touchdown, and then the toss to Jared Cook, and saluting the troops as we all are around the NFL.
It's good luck. It's good luck. Yeah. I can see you rocking that, Chris.
Camouflage cleats there too. Those are sweet.
See what Ginn could do, as Rondé said he's going to be able to have some room to return. Across the 25, trying to turn the corner. Rams showing some speed on special teams and bring him down short of the 25-yard line. Rondé Barber, Matt Hasselbeck in the booth with us. Chris Myers, glad to have you watching the NFL on Fox. Well, on our ride over to the game, you two were debating. You were sold on the Cardinals, 7-1 best record. You were saying impressive so far, but there's some things I want to watch more closely.
Very, very good football team. Let's not mistake myself here. They've won 7 games, and they've won in different fashions, some close games. But there's some blemishes. The passing yards jump out at me. The lack of sacks, even though they've done better today. Some things that they're going to have to work on going on these next 8 weeks of the season.
Well, timing's everything. I think this is a good time to be an Arizona Cardinals fan. The future's bright.
Carson Palmer, first down, middle of the field, tipped away. Into coverage, and Ogletree got his arm up.
Yeah, the forced throw right there. Maybe some of that frustration is coming in.
Floyd was the target.
Michael Floyd, good receiver. I kind of like the design of the play, but I thought Carson forced that.
3 guys converging on that spot in that zone coverage.
Well, you know what it is, too? It's sometimes these guys aren't great at playing Tampa, too. They mix it in. They're better at other things. So sometimes as a quarterback, you see that you want to take advantage of it.
Palmer to throw. Underneath, that's his tight end Carlson, who's met hard right away and shoved back from the 30. Alec Ogletree, who is coming off a 10-tackle game, according to the coach's tape, playing well.
Alec Ogletree, who led this team in tackles last year, really hasn't been playing great all season. Last week, had his best game of the year. He's having a hard time adjusting to Greg Williams' defense, but he's a good player in space.
Palmer throwing, incomplete for John Brown. And just like that, it's 4th down.
You know, it's tough. It's a 2-minute situation. You want to be aggressive, but at the same time, you're in this game. You don't want to do something foolish.
And Palmer hasn't. You know, his interception rate is the lowest in the NFL this year. He's had 5 starts and has 2 touchdowns in each of those starts.
Which has really been the recipe for success for these guys, Chris. They're number 2 in the league in turnover ratio.
Tavon Austin to the sideline. Here comes a flag, and he goes down short of the 25-yard line. 4 penalties on the Rams so far. There have been 3 called on Arizona.
And that looks like a ticky-tack block in the back call. Jeff Fisher doesn't like either.
I was getting ready to agree with you on that comment. I mean, he pulled up.
During the return, illegal block in the back. Number 21 of the return team. 10 yards. St. Louis's ball, first down.
The call on Janoris Jenkins.
You'll see him coming in left of the screen, and it, you know, from that picture, yeah, it looks like a block in the back, but he really kind of gave himself up and wasn't much there contact.
That's a good guy. I thought a good special teams play by Robert Hughes, a versatile fullback, tailback type guy.
So only 1 timeout. Remember, the Rams had to use them early with the noise when they were on offense getting plays in. 55 seconds remaining. The Cardinal defense can play this with all 3 timeouts and set up field position. And remember, the Cardinals get the ball to start the second half.
They can get a couple of stops here early in this drive. You give yourself a chance to maybe steal some points here at the end of the half.
Benny Cunningham across the 15, knocked down right away.
And you see St. Louis being conservative here.
Timeout Cardinals.
They've got a lead. They're up 4 points. They're backed up. They'd be happy to go into halftime with the score as it is.
See what's coming up at the half.
Coming up at halftime, we'll check out all the highlights from this Sunday's football. Did Peyton Manning and the Broncos bounce back against the Raiders?
Is that even a question?
We'll find out at the half.
Way to go, guys. Veterans Day on Tuesday, so instead of the normal halftime, Visa sponsoring with us Fort Benning, Georgia. And they will have highlights. They'll talk NFL like we always do. We all salute our troops, past and present, and the families of those who have served our country. 50 seconds and 2nd and 7 from just beyond the Ram 15. Trey Mason Will be brought down across the 20, bringing a third down, another Cardinal timeout. They'll have one remaining. You always have that theory as a quarterback, Matt, try to get points right before the half, and then you get the ball coming out. Second half, it could flip the game.
Well, that is Bruce Arians. He always talks about that double score, trying to get points at the end of the second quarter, and then getting the ball coming out in the third quarter with an immediate score, really flipping the game.
So now on third down and 3, what do you expect from this Ram offense?
I think they're going to run the football again here, Chris, and no reason to take a chance. You got a young quarterback. Put it up in the air here, possibility of a turnover. You don't want that.
And maybe Austin Davis keeping it. He has run himself.
That's another possibility. Him getting out of the pocket. We know he has the ability to scramble.
If they can force Arizona to waste their last time out, that helps their defense in case they don't get this first down.
They run it. Trey Mason. And it looks like they were spotting that right at the line of, right at the first down. It looks like he got it, yes. Close. Of course, the Cardinals could challenge if they don't like the spot. And that yellow line, remember, we just kind of superimposed that for TV purposes to give us an idea.
That would be very helpful, though, if you could have that yellow line out there for us when we're playing.
Yeah, we'll talk to the commissioner about that.
Honestly, I got a list of other things, too.
What do you do? Do you look at the yard marker when you should keep an eye on that?
No, you just know beforehand. You look at it, you know it's 3rd and 3.
And, of course, within 2 minutes, it would be a review from upstairs automatically anyway. And that pretty much will allow the Rams to get out of the half here with the lead. That's how they're going to play it.
And they're happy. If you would have told them that it could have been tied at halftime, I think they would take it. But they've played good football today. They should be proud.
A couple of big plays for this Rams offense that kept them ahead of Arizona right now. One good drive for the Cardinals. They're going to have to get more of that, and they're going to have to shore themselves up on the defensive side of the ball.
Andre Ellington, 9 carries for 9 yards. He does have a touchdown run. But the touchdown pass from Austin Davis to Jared Cook has the Rams with the lead. Of course, the Arizona Cardinals trying to get to 8-1. Coming in with the league's best record. And the Rams try to win their 4th game of the season. They actually have more wins in the NFC West than anyone else coming into this game. So we look forward to an exciting second half with Rondé Barber and Matt Hasselbeck. Right now, let's go to the Visa halftime report.
Great day for football. Respect those troops, man. Can't thank them enough. 1, 2, 3, win!
The NFL on Fox getting ready to start the second half. The Rams, the 3-5 Rams, leading the 7-1 Arizona Cardinals. And the Cards will get the ball to start the second half. Today's excitement brought to you by Nissan. Austin Davis, the undrafted free agent quarterback, over 100 yards passing. No miscues, and the touchdown toss to Jared Cook. And he has the lead with Rondé Barber, Matt Hasselbeck, I'm Chris Myers. And Rondé, you and I aren't 6'5".
No, we're not.
Right? So, but we do these for TV purposes.
Magic of TV right here.
Okay, and no hair jokes, I promise. But it's nice to have the active quarterback of the Colts with us. Rondé, how about this? We asked Bruce Arians, hey, is this a trap game? He shook his head and said, no, this is a division game.
Well, there's one thing that we all know about division games. Familiarity breeds understanding. They know each other. So this isn't like the 7-1 Cardinals are so far out in front of St. Louis. They know this team, so that's why they're playing so well today.
And I'll give you a chance to respond here once we get the kick, as Zerline will boom it away, and Ted Ginn back in the end zone. As someone who, actually, your Colts are playing the Patriots next Sunday. Familiarity, division teams, trap games.
Well, I'll say this. I don't think anyone saw how well Austin Davis was going to play in this first half. He's played really, really good football. Smart, safe, sound, had the big play. For Carson Palmer, this doesn't surprise me either. He's in position to win this game for his team. Playing against Greg Williams many times myself, I know how it is. You stay up late at night saying, okay, how's he going to play us? He's going to bring crazy, exotic, blitzes that nobody else brings. You weather the storm. You come up with a plan for it at halftime. Hopefully you can make some plays.
The Cardinals have played in close games for the most part. The Rams, all 3 of their wins have come by a total of 7 points. It's a 4-point game here to start the third as Andre Ellington Gets up to the 25. The ball comes out, but he's ruled, yes, he is ruled down right there at the 25-yard line. Let's check in down on the field with Jennifer Hale.
Well, Chris, Coach Jeff Fisher tells me he's encouraged with how Austin Davis is handling this hostile crowd. He believes the key to this second half is making sure they have success on first down so that Davis isn't in third and long hero-type situations. Meanwhile, Bruce Arians' message to his team at halftime, the Cardinals have been a better second-half team all season, so be confident in that, Chris.
All right, and 3 tight ends in with Andre Ellington here on second down 5. Ellington brought down right away into the arms of Aaron Donald, the #1 pick from Pittsburgh.
Aaron Donald is one of those special type of rookies. He's not that big. He's right here. He's not that big, but he's more quick than fast. You see him get that swim move on the guard and play in the backfield. There's a lot of guys that he reminds me of. Warren Sapp being one just because of that first step quickness. He's been very impressive so far in his rookie year.
He's a quick guy. He ran like a 4.640 at the combine. For a D tackle, that's unheard of.
That's like about what I ran.
Going back to 3rd and 9, 3rd and long, you pointed out the success rate of Carson Palmer when it's shorter than that in the first half. He has time on the move, and Palmer goes down. 3rd sack of the game for the Rams, although officially with him falling forward, it may not be ruled a sack, but they did the job.
Well, first down they tried to run it, second down they tried to run it. Clearly they're trying to get better third and manageable situations. They tried to double move there on 3rd down. Once again, the Rams weren't biting on it.
Now the Rams are without their starting nickelback, LaMarcus Jordan. We saw him getting carted off at halftime. So they're having to play a couple of different players. They covered up in that zone really nice there. No way to get rid of that ball for Carson.
Drew Butler's punt. Fair catch called for right around the 30-yard line. Carson Palmer has felt the rush from this Ram defense with already pressuring the quarterback all afternoon.
You got old school and new school. Tom Moore on the Surface tablet and Carson Palmer on the black and white still shots.
Are you a fan of the tablet yourself, or you like the old photos?
I could be a fan of both.
Trey Mason carries. Trey Mason gets up across the 40 for a first down.
Nice run by Trey Mason there. They pretend like Jared Cook's going to run a route like on a naked bootleg. Doesn't necessarily block anybody, but creates a huge cavity in the defense for a running lane.
Trey Mason at Auburn, his teammate was Jeff Fisher's son, Trent.
And Greg Robinson.
The left tackle, first-round pick for Brian Schottenheimer's offense. The Rams have had trouble in the 3rd quarter scoring, the fewest points of any team in the league this year. After a first-down gain, the Cardinal defense all over that.
I tell you what, they really are loving that Calais Campbell is back in this lineup after a couple of weeks down. There's one thing that they've been missing up front, and it's this powerful man running through guards, shedding blockers, making plays in the backfield. Man, he's an impressive player. They love him in this lineup.
Loss of 5, and now 6 defensive backs come in for the Cardinals.
The mindset here is get half of it back. Don't try to get it all here. Get half of it back, so third and manageable once again.
Austin Davis from the pocket underneath, gets a portion back. Falling forward is Kenny Britt.
And I like that play call. You know, it's you know they're going to bring pressure. They had some heat on him. He got the ball out on time. 3rd and less than 10. Still not ideal. I'd like to see 3rd and 3 the rest of the day if they could.
We're going to see about every DB on the Cardinals roster on the field right now.
And Tavon Austin checks out of the game for the Rams. Chris Gibbons is in, the speedy receiver, and Stedman Bailey, who has not had a catch today.
Here you go. This is Antonio Cromartie. He said earlier, line up on the line of scrimmage. Does the same thing here.
Davis underneath, a low throw to Gibbons, but it's short of the first down. And the Cardinal defense with the stop, forcing a 4th down.
You talk about uniqueness of your defense. This is leading interceptor on your team. He's not a blitzer. He hasn't ever done it in his life, but they put him in there as a defensive end. I told you there were 7 defensive backs on the field. Todd Bowles, just innovative, creative, finding ways to confuse the offense. They were able to get him off on third down with that pressure.
Defensive coordinator Todd Bowles. Bruce Arians said that Cromartie has been one of the steadiest defensive players throughout the season for this team. Hacker booms this over the head again and into the end zone for a touchback. Missed opportunity of field position there for the Rams after a 52-yard punt. In honor of Veterans Day, for every point scored during its 32 Salute to Service games, the NFL will donate $100 to each of its nonprofit partners, the Pat Tillman Foundation, the USO, and the Wounded Warrior Project. To join this salute, visit NFL.com/salutes. Some veterans here that are part of the coaching staff. A couple of former Marines, part of the NFL. Once a Marine, always a Marine. And Jeff Fisher, who climbed Mount Kilimanjaro and does a lot for the USO. Saluting the troops everywhere, past and present, and the families of our servicemen and servicewomen. Veterans Day on Tuesday. On first down, Palmer underneath. That's Troy Nicholas, the rookie tight end from Notre Dame.
Well, they like Troy Nicholas. Came out as a true junior out of Notre Dame. Big blocker, kind of raw. He's got two older guys to learn from, but it's a big play. It's nice to see him getting some reps here, some meaningful action, too. They're going to need him down the line.
He's 6'6", only his second NFL catch, and a healthy gain of 17.
Hey, you want righty? Righty, righty, righty. Deuce, here. Righty, righty, righty. Go.
Ellington carries and stopped at the 40.
I gotta chuckle at this. You know, the technology today and all the audio that you guys get to see at home. You hear the communication between the guys up front, the offensive linemen. Hey, you want to righty this? And then there's Carson. Yeah. Righty, righty, righty. You know, just changing basically the blocking scheme.
I mean, audio you hear, right?
Yeah, and a play you see. Well, if you're Rodney, the defensive back, and heckling is part of the job up here, by the way, you could hear it too if you're at the defensive line.
Absolutely. You know they're sliding to protect. You really don't know what it is. We could guess, but
You give the defensive guys too much credit, Chris.
On second and 7, there's a shot right before the snap of the ball. Palmer on the move, and incomplete. Trying to go to Ted Ginn.
Yeah, that one was across the bow, buddy. Get out of my booth.
We have creative defensive minds. Rashawn Johnson, right, of the secondary. He's kind of the facilitator. They call him the brains of the secondary on Arizona.
Yeah, he was talking in mathematical terms when we were
threw us all off. It was one of those.
A couple of us are smart, I think.
3rd and 7, critical down here for these guys.
Notice how we just went right past it.
Yeah, there's a game going on, guys. I don't know what you're talking about.
On 3rd down at 7. Remember, Palmer came in as the best 3rd down quarterback in the NFL. Here comes a 5-man rush. Fitzgerald has the catch. Gets up near the first down.
And the first down. They scored on a similar hot play like this. So St. Louis brings the blitz to this side, to Carson's right. They bring the blitz, and they have an adjustment here where they're going to throw a hot, get the ball out of Carson's hand quick to Larry Fitzgerald. He's got a blocker for him. Picks up 7.5 yards for the first.
Fitzgerald, who's been tough on the Rams over his career. An important pickup against Greg Williams' defense on a 3rd down play. Pass is caught. John Brown, receiver screen, trying to work up near the marker.
You know, the important thing about this offense, Bruce Arians' offense, is that these hots are built in, and Matt can speak to this. So whenever you get a chance, you feel the pressure coming. They don't have to audible. He just throws it in.
And they're finding creative ways to get extra blockers. Watch Larry Fitzgerald come in motion there and block McDonald inside the offensive lineman's block.
Also targeted 7 times and 7 catches for Larry Fitzgerald. 3 tight ends in now. On 2nd and short, Ellington. He's going to get the first down and go out of bounds at the 40 of the Rams.
Andre Ellington is a back that loves to hit this, that loves to bounce this thing outside. This play was designed to go inside that tackle tight end box there, but he sees one opposite color jersey, and he's putting his right foot in the ground and going around the corner.
His coach said he has a knack for self-preservation.
Self-preservation. That's not one to take hits. That's a smart knack to have.
That's a knock on him for not practicing on Wednesday and Thursday.
Well, that's a guy who can last when you're 5'9" and 200 pounds. He's touched the ball 16 times today. Palmer has to get rid of it. Open and right on target at the 25 is Ted Ginn.
It's a big throw by Carson Palmer, knowing he's going to take a hit. He knows the blitz is coming. The routes are further downfield, so he's got to hang on to it.
One extra guy in the box. That's safety Mark Barron, who's playing a lot now with the injury to LaMarcus Joyner. But because the pressure, his corners are playing a little bit safer. They're off the receivers. He knows that. He gives the ball out to Ted Ginn. They get a big conversion there.
A gain of 15. Ellington and Robert Hughes in for Palmer here on first down. He fakes. He throws. Ellington has it. Knocked down him right around the 20.
Matt, you talked about this earlier in the game. You know, this St. Louis defense loves the pressure, but there's no one better equipped to deal with it than this guy, Carson Palmer.
Well, that you saw earlier in this drive, they had stacked formations where two wide receivers could reach out and touch each other. That's how close they were to each other. It makes it hard for the defense of the Rams to stop the Hots. There you had two running backs in the backfield for a 7-man protection in case they came.
It looks like John Brown, the rookie, there was some confusion. He split out to the far left, top of your screen.
It's a benefit for the offense, though. The Rams got confused in the run gap there.
Ellington carries, gets inside the 15-yard line. And he does have the first down. So Andre Ellington with 14 rushes for only 21 yards, but he can always spring one. 5-yard run's the longest. Does have the short touchdown run. He also has 4 catches.
Well, they're going to get him his 20, 25 touches every game. We know that. Bruce Arians told us he doesn't care about his yardage. They're doing it for the sake of establishing the presence of a run.
Well, Rondé, his fantasy owners care about his yardage.
Yeah,
doesn't Bruce know that?
And his scores, that's important. And he remains the back on first and 10. Palmer has time. For the end zone, open, knocked away at the last moment. What a terrific play by E.J. Gaines, because the tight end Rob Hausler was open.
We talked a lot about the resurgence of Carson Palmer here in his mid-30s. Look at this scramble.
You know, one thing that he has is the ability to step up to the pocket, and I love this term about big quarterbacks that people don't think run. He has functional mobility. He can move around in the pocket. Good play. That was almost an outstanding interception.
Functional mobility. Do you have that at 6'5", Matt Hasselbeck?
Functional?
Yeah, mobility. We'll stop at functional.
Oh, okay.
On second down 10.
Let's look all out.
Palmer has to get rid of it quick. Brown has it. He's knocked down right away. Rodney McLeod from the safety spot.
You know what I noticed? Chris? It's so much easier to see the blitzes from up here.
I mean, of course it is.
It's awesome.
It's like you're a coach and you talk about being a coach on the field. It's a lot easier to be a coach in a booth.
I will say this. We were talking about the communication earlier with Carson Palmer and his center and all that. James Laurinaitis does a great job for the Rams. You can actually see him hand signaling a lot to his safeties, to his linebackers, making calls, especially when they're in an empty formation like the Cardinals are in right now.
Now, Matt, they go with 4 wide receivers, 12th play of the drive. And Marion Grice, that's number 23, a running back, lines up outside. Palmer throws, and it's intercepted. It's Alec Ogletree. Palmer's the only one to slow him down, and he does. What a move by Alec Ogletree.
Carson Palmer stared this route down. He was trying to get the ball to Marion Grice. He looks up at the scoreboard. He's disgusted. There's a hot built into this, and he just doesn't see Alec Ogletree floating around in the middle and delivers it right into him. Only his 3rd interception of the year, but it's a big one.
The Ogletree interception.
Well, we talked about James Laurinaitis. He's got a huddle call where it's a blitz coming to the right, and they see him playing the guitar saying, hey, play it, play the call we called in the huddle. Don't check out of it because they've got no backs in the backfield. And the Rams have great execution. And
they move Ogletree over here, and look what happens. Hey, he should go pat him on the back and say, hey, thanks, James. appreciate that interception.
Thought that was like an air guitar. The first turnover of the game. Austin Davis to Cook, and he's got it, and he's still on his feet. There goes Jared Cook. Here comes a flag, and he's knocked down inside the 5.
The flag is going to be an illegal crack back there on Kenny Britt. He's facing his own goal line, or the opponent's goal line, and he came back and made contact on that defensive back. I didn't see who it was.
And was it a necessary play? I mean, it was not after the catch by Cook going down the sideline. That's Jeff Fisher's argument here.
I think Rondé's a little biased as a defensive back.
Austin Davis comes out firing.
I thought it was a good block.
You did, or you just?
I did. I mean, I know we're going to agree to disagree on this. I can just feel it.
Well, they're discussing it because if he's not facing the opposing goal line, it's not illegal.
Personal foul, illegal blindside block by the offense. Number 88, 15 yards from the spot of the foul. It's first down.
And we apologize if you heard any of the language from down on the sideline. The call is on Lance Kendricks.
Yeah, Kendricks, excuse me, not Kenny Britt. You see him facing the other goal line, peeling back. Say this plenty of times. It's the Hines Ward rule. He used to do that all the times when he was in Pittsburgh. And Jeff Fisher is saying, look, he wasn't facing the goal line. He was facing the sideline, in which case he thinks it's legal, but the rule is if he's outside the box and he's facing into the line of scrimmage, you cannot contact a defensive player.
25-yard gain, but then minus 15 after the penalty. First down Rams from the 35. Trey Mason, and there's a flag.
It's going to be an illegal formation by the Rams. Just poor communication. The tight end came in motion, and the wide receiver did not get off the ball.
Wanted to go back, if I could, once we sort this out. That interception by Ogletree was the first interception by this Ram team in their last 4 games. And it has them in the football.
Illegal formation by the offense. The left tight end was covered up by the wide receiver. That penalty is declined. It's second down.
Well,
just what you called.
Yeah, well, it's critical, too, because, again, they're at the 35-yard line in range for their field goal kicker, and now they're backed up a little bit.
So after the interception, big pass play to Cook, then a penalty, and then another penalty. Rams facing 2nd and 11 at the 36th of Arizona. Austin Davis, sideline throw. Out of bounds, incomplete for Kenny Britt. It'll be 3rd down and long. Patrick Peterson, haven't called his name much today. He was running with him.
Austin Davis hasn't attempted many passes on Patrick Peterson. He had his best game of the year last week against Dallas. He had been struggling. He leads this league, leads the team, leads the league in defensive penalties with 10 called, 9 accepted. He's been playing good. He's been covering up the guy he's been on today.
More reason for him to keep the ball in bounds so that the ref has the chance to throw the flag.
They got him. Calais Campbell with the sack.
Big plays, playing left defensive end. He's moving all over the field. Swims Barksdale, gets the sack, but that sack was set up by the secondary of the Arizona Cardinals, showing man at the line of scrimmage. They bounced out in zone, took away Tavon Austin on an over route, and Calais Campbell knocked him out of field goal range.
A powerful force at 6'8". Rams with a missed opportunity after the takeaway. And a fair catch at the 10-yard line. 14-10. It's an NFC West struggle between the Cardinals and the Rams. It's been that kind of game for Carson Palmer and the first place Arizona Cardinals, who have the football from the 10-yard line.
It's a good look there, Chris.
On first down, what makes him look tough? And he is. Andre Ellington. Let me go back on the block. I got a text from Alberto Riveron in the league office with Dean Blandino. with the officials. If the block is from the side and there's contact to the head or neck, it is a foul.
And that's really the thing. They're so conscious of protecting hits to the head, which is smart.
Well, we know you cannot face the opposing goal line and crack back on a guy, but there's also a rule, we had it a couple of weeks ago, if the outside receiver is facing the line of scrimmage, you cannot contact the defender either, and I think that's what the call was there.
A major penalty on Kendricks that hurt the Rams. They were forced to punt. And Palmer, after faking, is running. He's batted back to him. So he didn't fake. He caught his own pass and then attempted to throw again. I thought he faked the throw. It was tough to see over those big defensive linemen. There's 2 flags down on the field. So a member of the Rams batted the ball back to Palmer after he threw it, and then you can't throw it again, obviously.
Now, you're taught as a quarterback never to catch it. I've got a little trivia question for you after this.
Illegal forward pass on the offense, number 3. It was the second forward pass during the down. That penalty is declined. Result of the play is 3rd down.
Well, forget the trivia. You can't throw the ball twice.
Let's take a closer look at how it happened. He got it.
So he has a completion
and an incompletion on the same play.
Oh, wow. I know he knows the rule, so that's very confusing. Oh, there's a highlight.
But they declined, so it's 3rd and 7.
That's not the one.
4 wide receivers for Carson Palmer.
You got stack formation up top, stack formation down low in case they blitz. Easy places to go.
And they're blitzing, Matt. Here they come. Throw is on target at the 20 and falling forward, Gerard Brown. And that looks like it's good enough. He's 6'2", and that extra lunge got him the 1st down.
You're getting those stack formations, and even if the Rams are trying to play man-to-man coverage, it keeps the corners off. It gives you room to run combination routes, and they did that, and it was good execution.
No one better, honestly, no one better in the league right now than the Arizona Cardinals with those stack hots, all these different taking shots when they blitz.
Ellington comes the other way and just falls across. You guys keep talking about hots. Explain for the audience the simple terminology. Quick pass, outlet, whatever.
I'll let Rondé explain. It's his fault.
Yeah,
they're the ones bringing the blitz.
Yeah, right. Whenever a team, well, in Bruce Arians' offense, you know, some offenses try to signal the hot, but in his offense, it's no communication needed. The receivers, the running backs, they all know to identify the pressure, and when they do, they break off their routes. And in that interception, Carson Palmer held on the ball a little too long and gave Alec Ogletree a chance to make a play.
Andre Ellington splits out as a receiver, 3 wide receivers with him. On 2nd and 9, pressure coming, pass is thrown and caught, but knocked down right away Ellington, and the clock runs here.
A perfect example of it right there. The Rams bring pressure off that right side. Andre Ellington may or may not have been running a different route, but the hot was right away. Carson Palmer knows he doesn't have anybody in the backfield to protect him, so he lets it go, and they convert, make something positive out what could have been a negative play.
And something to watch every time that the Arizona Cardinals are in an empty backfield, meaning no one in the backfield with Carson Palmer. James Laurinaitis is making a signal. Here's another signal, another new signal we haven't yet seen today.
And on 3rd down and 6, Carson Palmer will let the 3rd quarter wind down. The Rams lead the Cardinals 14-10. You're watching the NFL on Fox as we get ready for the 4th quarter at Arizona. NFL on Fox, the Cardinals with the best record in the NFL coming into Week 10, and the 3-5 Rams who have staged upsets over the Seahawks and 49ers are leading here with Rondé Barber and Matt Hasselbeck. Chris Myers, I'm glad to have you watching. 5 wide receivers on 3rd down and 6. Completes. Jerron Brown again, who's become Mr. First Down on 3rd down.
Every single time, Chris, Matt, that Arizona gets into an empty formation, and we'll watch for it on the rest of this drive, James Laurinaitis is giving a check, and they're bringing a blitz. And the theory behind that is that if you're able to get this quarterback to get the ball out of his hands quick, You have guys sitting back in the zone, come up and make tackles and get off the field.
For the Cardinals, trying to get to 8-1 for the first time in franchise history since the 40s. The Rams are trying to save their season and get back in the NFC West race. Palmer on first down. Completes Larry Fitzgerald for a first down around midfield.
Looks like Kurt Warner out here running this shotgun formation, 4 wide receivers, then 3 wide receivers, mixing up the personnel groups.
Larry Fitzgerald talked to us about the differences between Kurt Warner and Carson Palmer.
Different players, obviously. Kurt Warner in my mind, and I think Matt's mind too, is a Hall of Famer. Carson, though, incorporating his offense, you're seeing the same type of things, the poise and the confidence, not worried about how many times he's getting hit, stepping up and delivering the ball like he did just then.
Larry Fitzgerald has it. He's down to the 30. Larry Fitzgerald, who's been a Ram killer all of his career. He has 9 catches for over 100 receiving yards.
You could debate what his role is in this offense, but you cannot debate, especially the past month of the season, his effectiveness with this offense. Carson Palmer has all the trust in the world in him. And just moments ago, you see this quick pass on a pressure. The hot Larry Fitzgerald, big yardage gain for Arizona.
And a gain of 18 on that one from the 31 spotted there. 1st and 10 Cardinals. Palmer slips a tackle and completes to John Brown. You know, it was Larry Fitzgerald who had to adjust, going from being the target in Arizona to a complimentary. That's exaggerating the situation in Arians' offense, but he called Bruce Arians a benevolent dictator.
Well, I'll say this. Bruce Arians was in Indianapolis before I got to the Colts, and the common theme, whether it's here or there in Indy, is respect. Players, coaches, even opponents have respect for Bruce Arians as a play caller, as a coach.
So if Larry Fitzgerald is going to change, he's the one guy that's going to get him to do it.
2nd down 6. Ellington has had a rough afternoon on the ground, goes nowhere. William Hayes making the stop. In fact, some fans dressed up as Bruce Arians for Halloween.
That's fantastic. He even got the glasses.
That's pretty good.
I hope he's not calling plays. That's the guy. Bruce Arians worked for Bear Bryant, calls him one of his influences, and his motto is coach him hard, hug him later.
Expects a lot out of their guys, and that's why they're able to be resilient at the end of games and won a bunch of close ones.
On 3rd down, Palmer's in trouble and goes down. Mark Barron came in from the safety spot, and Palmer is in pain.
Laurinaitis came with that same play it signal, playing the guitar. They brought the same blitz as they did on the interception. Carson didn't see it. You see the blitz coming off the top. Carson in obvious pain.
Well, he steps up here to avoid Mark Barron and gets his shoulder, and it's hard to see what exactly is ailing him there.
Now remember, he had the shoulder nerve damage that he recovered from and said earlier in the season cost him to miss 2 or 3 games. But Carson Palmer is down here in Arizona. Carson Palmer was helped from the field. He was able to walk off, and you see him being tended to over on the sideline. And a 53-yard field goal try by Chandler Catanzaro, who has yet to miss as a pro. And that will be his first miss after 17 consecutive field goals. The owner of the Cardinals, the GM of the Cardinals, concerned about Carson Palmer being carted away to the Cardinal locker room, and he told us on Friday after practice about how awesome it was to be in Arizona, and he couldn't ask for anything more, signing a 3-year contract extension, and one off to the best starts first half seasons of his career. And as he got near the sideline here, see the concern.
You feel bad. You feel bad for him. The good news for this Arizona team in the short term, at least for the rest of the day today, they know that Drew Stanton has got them wins against the Giants and the 49ers this year.
Owner Michael Bidwell will no doubt head down to the locker room to check out his quarterback. But right now, the Rams, after the missed field goal from the 43-yard line, they have a 4-point lead. Trey Mason.
Well, you can just feel the life sucked out of this building with the injury to Carson Palmer.
Trey Mason is limping over on the Rams sideline, the rookie runner who made his second start of the season today. Zach Stacy and Benny Cunningham, the backs that are up active. And Cunningham is in on 2nd and 7. Cunningham carries and works his way into Cardinal territory. It'll be 3rd down and short. And let's check in for an update on Carson Palmer. Jen?
Well, Chris, the early reports from the Cardinals locker room are that they brought Carson Palmer back because of his left knee and that he's questionable, obviously, with that. As he was being carted away, I was standing right there. His eyes were closed. He looked like he was in a considerable amount of pain, probably a little dazed as well, Chris.
On 3rd and 2, Davis to throw, nowhere. Stedman Bailey was in the middle of the field, but the ball never reached him, and Davis got knocked down.
They had one of those old school West Coast offense plays where Kenny Britt ran across on the shallow cross. 2 guys went with him. No one in the middle of the field on Stedman Bailey.
Yeah, you get in these stacks and bunches as an offensive unit, and you're hoping to get the corners or safeties, whoever covering, off the line of scrimmage, and they created some confusion there, but the pressure forced Austin Davis to make a bad throw. Stedman Bailey was wide open.
Fair catch called for just beyond the 10-yard line of the Cardinals. Drew Stanton, who has 2 wins and 3 starts when he filled in for Carson Palmer, takes the field.
Yeah.
In a painful twist of fate, Carson Palmer, his left knee, remember his Cincinnati Bengal career, 8 days after a contract extension there, knocked out and injured here. So Drew Stanton takes over and throws on 1st down and completes to Rob Houser.
Well, here's the thing about Drew Stanton. One of the first things that Bruce Arians did when he came here to be head coach of the Arizona Cardinals is he brought this guy, Drew Stanton, as a free agent, got him from Indianapolis, brought him with him. He knows his system. Guys believe in him, guys trust him. He got wins for him at San Francisco and also against the New York Giants this year. Guys believe in him.
Drafted in the 2nd round by the Lions. Also played with the Colts. And on the spot for Arizona. Stanton is on the run. Slips a few tackles to get across the 25-yard line. So the NFC West, and for the Cardinals, sailing along at 7-1 with the best record in the league. Their starting quarterback goes down. Their rookie kicker, who hadn't missed a field goal, misses. And the Rams, in the bottom part of the division, can get back into it if they can hold on here. Remember, for Arizona, this is the first of 5 games of their remaining 8, including today, against the NFC West.
They have a couple of tough games against Detroit and Kansas City, too, Chris.
Stanton completes. John Carlson. He's in Ram territory with a 1st down.
Well, they haven't skipped a beat at all. Drew Stanton standing on the sideline for 3 quarters, comes right in, has delivered 2 great strikes to his tight ends. Quick play action, ball comes out, he's sure of himself. I believe you, Matt. They have all the confidence in the world. Most importantly, his coach has all the confidence in the world, and the game plan won't be altered at all with him in the game right now.
After a gain of 26. Drew Stanton deep for Brown. John Brown has a Cardinal touchdown.
Wow, Matt.
Well, this crowd's back in. I'll say this. Play action once again after 2 naked bootlegs, and then the double move, the corner post to John Brown. An amazing throw, even better catch. Might have even outdone it with the celebration. This is the kinds of plays this guy's been making all year.
Better catch. How about outstanding catch, man? Holy cow. Wow, man.
This kid's taking over the T.Y. Hilton routes in this Bruce Arians offense.
And the Cardinals lead. John Brown owns 2 game-winning fourth-quarter touchdown catches against the Eagles, against the Chargers in Week 1. He may be hanging on to one here. Carson Palmer relieves injured in the fourth quarter. Drew Stanton goes 3 for 3, including the 48-yard touchdown toss and a spectacular grab by rookie John Brown. And the Cardinals lead by 3. Catanzaro ready to kick off. Touchback. Rams will take over on the 20 here, trailing, but John Brown, when it comes to the fourth quarter, they get him the football.
We had this game a couple of weeks ago, and the safety took a bad angle there, got the game-winning touchdown. And again, moments ago, the safety took a bad angle. You got one shot to find it back there. Rodney McLeod messed it up, and John Brown.
That's what I like, though.
Great catch. Outstanding celebration.
A third-round draft pick from Pittsburgh State.
There's definitely some choreography there. I mean, that's hard to do.
Most people would get hurt trying to do that.
Austin Davis through the hands of Trey Mason. Austin Davis on the road. Fourth quarter, now trailing in the game.
He's been doing a great job all day, I would say.
Does not have a John Brown receiver to go to.
No.
He was working with Brian Quick until he was hurt for the Rams and out for the year.
And that's important. You know, Kurt Givens had been a deep threat on this team for a lot during his rookie year, has not shown up so far this year. The explosive element is not there. The only person who's capable of showing that is Cook, the tight end, and he's had a couple today.
On 2nd and 10. Knocked down is Givens. Here comes a flag, and let's check the flag. As soon as he made the turn, the flag came out. Patrick Peterson has been flagged 10 times this year, more than any other player in the league.
Prior to the pass, illegal contact, defense, number 21, 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Well, you see Bruce Arians saying that Patrick was drawn down. He's on the line of scrimmage and beating up Chris Givens. Contact is definitely past the 5 yards. That's the call. It's not any of this other stuff down the field. You cannot touch a receiver past 5 yards line of scrimmage, and I think it was the right call.
Yeah, I'm glad you agree on that. Kind of surprised, actually.
It's a major moment here for the Ram offense because that 11th defensive penalty on Peterson gives the Rams a first down. Givens, he's intercepted. It's Patrick Peterson.
Austin Davis got caught trying to do a little too much. This is the matchup out here that he's looking for. But out of the corner of your screen, you're going to see Tavon Austin wide open, and he just forced the ball. And Patrick Peterson, who was in great coverage, comes up with an easy interception. His first one of the year, comes at a big time.
When the games are done, catch all the highlights from a full day of the NFL. Randy Moss and Donovan McNabb, part of the Fox Sports team. All that, the headlines, recaps from around the entire world of sports on Fox Sports Live, 11 Eastern, Fox Sports 1, streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Austin Davis started 11 of 13. Since then, 0 for 4. And now the interception. Peterson gives it over to the offense, and Andre Ellington is knocked down right away.
I'll tell you, I credit in a little bit. I credit That turnover to Bruce Arians and the play call, the touchdown pass from Drew Stanton to Brown, the life was put back in this stadium. And when that defense came back out, they got the critical, they had the penalty, but they had the critical stop and the turnover, which they've been so good at this year.
And that's how they've won so many football games this year. Creating takeovers, turnovers in the fourth quarter. We just saw the stat. It's a gritty football team. They find a way to eat these things out. See if they can hold on.
Drew Stanton, who was 3 for 3 on the last drive, will suffer his first incompletion. Meanwhile, for Austin Davis, who has been very cautious with this Ram offense, hopes to get the ball back with good field position, depending upon how far the Cardinals move this, already up at their 46, facing a 3rd and 10.
Well, 3rd down is going to win this game for one team or the other. Here's another one, 3rd and long. Unfortunately, this is not a favorite down and distance of an offensive coordinator.
Marion Grice checks in at running back. Stanton's throw. Coverage was good. Pressure was on.
Robert Quinn with a huge hit on Drew Stanton on a defensive line stunt, starting at defensive end and coming back inside. Hits Drew Stanton right up under the arm as he's letting the ball go.
In the NFC West, the Seahawks are pulling away from the Giants at home, 31-17. The 49ers won earlier in overtime down in New Orleans. Tavon Austin with a fair catch from Drew Butler. Just over 6.5 minutes here in the fourth quarter. Week 10 continues tonight with Sunday Night Football at 8:30 Eastern on NBC. And tune in tomorrow for Monday Night Football on ESPN. Well, it's been a defensive struggle. Each team with a takeaway. Peterson the interception more recently. Carson Palmer suffering an interception at the hands of Alec Ogletree before he left with a knee injury. And Todd Bowles dialing up the defense as he has so well. And Rondé Barber, you've talked about how this defense changes week to week. We'll see Matt Hasselbeck how Austin Davis figures it out here. Underneath to Cunningham.
Yeah, this is good coverage on the play here. I like what Austin Davis decides to do. Doesn't get greedy like he did on the last drive. Takes a completion, gets a check down, gets 10 yards. Helps out the offensive line, doesn't hold on to the ball forever. It's a good way to start a drive.
Yeah, and time's not an issue, right? You're only down by 3 points. You don't have to rush the process here. 6 minutes left in this football game. You can take your time, drive down the field. Austin Davis has to be smart, try not to do too much right now.
Hand off Benny Cunningham.
Really, the Achilles heel for this St. Louis Rams offense today has been 3rd down. 1 for 8 on 3rd down. That's going to win you no games anywhere. High school, college, pro. 1 for 8 on 3rd down is not going to cut it.
And you've been saying it all day, Matt. You win on 1st and 2nd down, gives you a better opportunity. And so far, them trying to run the ball on 1st down has not been successful. Only a yard there puts them in 2nd and long. Much more challenging down.
On 2nd and 9. Davis sidearms it. It's tipped away. And it's intercepted. It's again. Patrick Peterson counted for the Cardinals. Touchdown.
Well, it's going to be hard to blame that one on Austin Davis, but that interception was spectacular now. Off his hands, Patrick Peterson tipped it in the air, essentially back to himself, and for a touchdown. What a huge play. Austin Davis, you see, Cook is going to come, is going to run across. I'm sorry, it's Kenny Britt running across. He's able to tip the ball back to himself. Man, the concentration, the focus, just a sense for the big play. Patrick Peterson coming up big in the fourth quarter here.
That is his first touchdown on an interception return in his sparkling career. And it has given the Cardinals a 10-point lead. Matt Hasselbeck, you were just talking about Austin Davis, not trying to do too much. The throw wasn't perfect, but it certainly has put his team in a hole there.
really, I'd like to give more credit to Patrick Peterson and this defense. That was one of the most athletic plays I've ever seen. And we talked about even coming into the game, we just showed the graphic a little while ago, the turnover ratio for this Arizona team in the fourth quarter. Finding a way to play your very, very best in the fourth quarter when it's time to finish out a game. That's what they've done all season. That's why they've got the best record in football.
I came into this game thinking there's a little bit of lipstick on the pig here for Arizona, right? They don't run the ball. They don't run the ball well. They don't rush the passer well. They give up a lot of yards passing. But the X factor, we all know this in the NFL, is turnovers. And when you now have 11 turnovers in the fourth quarter of football games, you're going to win a bunch coming down the stretch.
The Cardinals trailed by 4 in the fourth quarter here. They lost their starting quarterback. And now they have a 10-point lead.
And that was the momentum. I mean, you could feel the life sucked out of this building when their leader, Carson Palmer, the guy who's meant so much to this team, goes down with some sort of leg injury, gets carted off, and then to come in, the confidence that they had in Drew Stanton, the 2 big pass completions, the one to Carlson, and then the one over the top to Brown. And they haven't looked back.
Benny Cunningham is bringing it out 9 yards deep. And he pushes up across the 23-yard line. The fourth quarter dominance of the Cardinals, ever present.
But before Carson Palmer got hurt, the player of the year for Arizona is John Brown. Ted Ginn, the big kicker return against Washington. Rashad Johnson with the big interception for a touchdown. And today, Patrick Peterson, 2 interceptions in the fourth quarter.
And coming in, Ronnie, they had outscored opponents 70-34 in the fourth quarter. And you saw the takeaway rate go up and tack on more points to that. And the 8th victory of the season closer in their grasp. Underneath, Tavon Austin. Still 5 minutes left, but the Rams have to do something in a hurry.
And now you got to feel the urgency pick up in this offense. They'll get into this no huddle, have to score quick, get the ball back. They have any chance getting back into this football game.
Tavon Austin is the game-breaking receiver, a top 10 overall pick, and they got the ball to him early on a couple of catches. But here the ball is flipped forward, and they're calling it an incompletion, not a fumble. But Austin, we hadn't heard from here in the second half.
Well, he's going to get a chance to run a 2-minute offense here, down 2 scores. And I'll tell you, having played here many times, this is when this crowd comes alive. It gets tough to play here. The defense of the Arizona Cardinals, it's like blood in the water now. They know they got to throw. They know they're not going to run. They know the cadence is probably going to be similar. The pass rushers are going to tee off. These defensive backs, you know, Rondé, they're saying to themselves, all right, hey, it's my chance to eat. This is my chance to get some interceptions, make some plays, pad my stats.
But we know how aggressive Todd Bowles is, too.
Pressure coming. Austin Davis goes underneath. That's Stedman Bailey. There's a flag down in the Ram backfield.
It's going to be holding on the Rams.
Holding. Offense. Number 79. 10-yard penalty. Replay. 3rd down.
On left tackle, Greg Robinson.
And that's just what I'm saying. It is so difficult. Greg Robinson is a great left tackle. He's been playing really, really well. But with this crowd noise, getting laid off the ball, that's actually not even what happened there. I mean, that was kind of a ticky-tack. You know, it's a tough job playing offensive line. It really is. And when they're teeing off with crowd noise like this on a silent count, Scott Wells and the left guard have gone to a silent count and shotgun.
This is only his 2nd game at left tackle, too.
Seven defensive backs. Incomplete. It's 4th down. Here comes a flag. And if this is a defensive hold, it's going to be a 1st down for the Rams.
Prior to the pass. Holding. Defense. Number 28. 5-yard penalty. Automatic. 1st down.
Justin Bethel, the speed corner, the special teams player, called for the penalty.
Watch Justin Bethel. He's sitting right here, and as Tavon Austin runs this little pivot route, he's going to go in and go out. Justin Bethel feels like he's beat. He grabs, and there's really no need to do this. The ball's going to Tavon Austin on a 5-yard completion. It was 3rd and 15. So let him go. Come up and make the tackle.
Rams still alive. Pressure coming. Ball's loose. Davis goes down. Cardinals have it. Antonio Cromartie has a Cardinal touchdown. The Cardinal avalanche in the fourth quarter is burying the Rams.
I tell you what, Chris, I played on some aggressive defenses. Matt, I played on some defenses that blitz, but you're winning a football game 24-14, and you're still bringing pressure. Acho misses him. Calais Campbell's coming in. It's going to be close. They'll review it to see if his hand was open going forward. It looked like a fumble to me.
Well, that's Kareem Martin, the draft pick, the third-round pick, coming up the middle. But I'll tell you, it's like I said, it's blood in the water. These defenders, they can smell it. The opportunity is here. The crowd gets behind them.
Ruled a touchdown on the field. We'll see if it is confirmed. Antonio Cromartie and the Cardinal defense in control here in the fourth quarter in the NFC West. Ruled a Cardinal touchdown on the field and reviewed.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. A touchdown.
2 defensive touchdowns in a minute 24 for Arizona. And the leaders of the NFC West are leading the way here in the fourth quarter. Extra point good. Under 4 minutes to play. And Austin Davis, who kept the Rams in it, had the Rams leading by 4 until the fourth quarter. The defense that Todd Bowles dialed up, and the athletic ability of Patrick Peterson moments after he was flagged for a penalty.
Got the interception on the possession before this, and then the great tip to himself, an interception for a touchdown. Kareem Martin with a sack fumble. And Antonio Cromartie in the right place at the right time. Opportunistic. Remarkable string of events there for this Arizona defense now. They have been living on this philosophy, on this winning formula all year long. So we could sit up here and be astounded and shocked by the plays, but we really shouldn't be surprised. That's how they've been doing it all year long.
Larry Fitzgerald, who has 9 catches and over 100 yards, concerned as we all are about Carson Palmer, who left on a cart with a lower leg, believed to be a knee injury. Nothing official from the team. They will take their time in evaluating. And if we get any information, we'll pass it along before this game wraps up. Sorry, we're getting the 3-minute a booth is a little bit different.
3-minute booth sounds like a movie.
What an exciting Matt in the middle. That could be a new show on Fox. How about the fourth quarter, the way things have turned? Anybody who doubted the Cardinal team, and maybe it's because of their location or the NFC West, whatever you want to do. I mean, this is a team that when they need to make the play, whether it's offense, defense, backup quarterback, they do it.
Todd Bowles has them playing great football, especially late in the game. That's when you got to play your best.
21 unanswered points here in the fourth quarter. Austin Davis will go underneath. Trey Mason carrying the football, and important because the NFC West, with Seattle and San Francisco winning, the Cardinals don't want to give anybody, including the Rams, any breathing room.
Well, no, they don't. We talked about the stretch of tough games that they have coming up. None more important than the ones in your division. So to get this one, and it's been an onslaught here, to make this one a little bit out of reach for St. Louis is really important.
Stedman Bailey turned around a little bit too late, or the pass was thrown too early. It'll be 2nd and 10 as the Rams will get ready for a home game against the Broncos before they play out in San Diego and then home against the Raiders. Interesting with all the discussion that's going on about that franchise. And the Arizona Cardinals, you think about these two teams, the Chicago Cardinals to St. Louis, out here to Arizona, the Cleveland Rams to Los Angeles, and now to St. Louis. And the Cardinals will take the upper hand of the series, but more importantly, here comes a flag late. improve on the NFL's best record.
Ineligible man downfield. Offense, number 63.
Call on Scott Wells, the center. And this Ram team toughing it out. They staged upsets behind Austin Davis of Seattle and San Francisco, and coming in here hoping Jeff Fisher to pull that off. Sam Bradford lost their quarterback for the year. He's been rehabbing, recovering properly. He'll have a contract that'll take him through next year as he looks on. Let's check this penalty.
There is no foul on the play for ineligible downfield. Result of the play is an incomplete pass. It's third down.
That Bruce Arians, it does not look like he's got the lead that he has right there.
He's all fired up. Wasn't even declining the penalty.
He's arguing the penalty he was going to decline. Awesome. He's a competitor.
That's why you love head coaches in this league.
It's a little late for the Rams to catch a break.
Blitz with a defensive lineman drop.
Into the hands, and it looked like Ed Stinson could have had the interception there.
Well, it was an all-out blitz, cover zero blitz, meaning zero people helping you. You're one-on-one, and they dropped out Ed Stinson, the rookie defensive end, who's playing, in a sense, playing because Darnell Dockett's out. That was his chance to be a hero.
Chance to have yet another turnover on this fourth quarter. It's amazing, guys sitting up here, that 5 minutes ago on the clock, this was a game. And then now, 5 minutes later, 31-14, and they're having to go for a fourth down, backed up in their own territory.
Pass is complete for a first down. Kenny Britt makes the catch. What about Austin Davis? We mentioned Sam Bradford coming back, has a contract at least through next year. Do the Rams know about their quarterback situation?
Well, this is a valuable time for him, even though they are unlikely to win this game, to continue to grow as a quarterback. He's a young player, get experience, and continue to build the trust and the respect of his teammates and coaches.
Austin Davis, incomplete. Benny Cunningham, the target. And does Todd Bowles, someone who interviewed for a head coaching job, I know right now he's worried about leading this defense into the postseason and doing the job for Bruce Arians, but some have talked about the outstanding work he's done here.
I'm impressed. I am impressed. I mean, he's got a talented group of guys. I think they work in unison here with Steve Keim, the general manager, bringing in great players, finding free agents, older guys, Tommy Kelly, Larry Foote, guys like that have been playing great football for him. But Todd Bowles has done his part.
Davis to Lance Kendricks inside the 35.
And I don't think any of that goes unnoticed. I mean, Todd Bowles is a soft-spoken kind of guy, but you cannot fight what he's done, what he's been able to do with this defense, the losses that he's had to deal with, and just creating something that's special here. It's fun to watch.
Over 200 yards passing for Austin Davis. Dumps it off to Trey Mason. Gets down inside the 25-yard line. Talk about the defensive losses, whether it's Darrell Washington, the suspension, John Abraham, Darnell Dockett's injury.
Calais Campbell for a few games.
And we have reached the 2-minute warning here in Arizona. The Cardinals working on their 8th win in 9 games, leading the Rams. We'll have more on the NFL on Fox in a moment. Our aerial coverage today provided by DirecTV. In the Valley of the Sun, roof closed through the afternoon. A hot day outside of the Cardinals, hot here in the fourth quarter. Rams facing a 2nd and 1 with 2 minutes to go. Each team all 3 timeouts. It was 14-10 moments ago. The defensive touchdowns and plays like that have put the Cardinals in control. Marcus Bernard with the sack as the clock continues to run. And we welcome those of you that watched the Seahawks defeat the Giants in the NFC West. The 49ers won today. And the team at the top, the Cardinals, are pouring it on in the fourth quarter. Alex Athletics so perform on Austin Davis. With Rondé Barber, Matt Hasselbeck, the veteran quarterback of the Colts, Chris Myers, and glad to have you watching. It was a 14-10 game in the fourth quarter. Carson Palmer got hurt. Drew Stanton threw the touchdown to John Brown, and Austin Davis intercepted by Patrick Peterson. 2 for him in the game, a touchdown, and also a touchdown from Antonio Cromartie on a fumble. Gibbons the catch inside the 20. And here comes a flag.
This has been one of those typical Arizona games today.
Holding. Offense. Number 63. 10-yard penalty. Replay. 4th down.
And kind of that type of game for St. Louis today. Some penalties have hurt them. They haven't been able to create plays in the second half of this game to keep them in it when Arizona started to roll. The interesting thing, Matt, and you can talk to this, is the confidence that head coach Bruce Arians had in his second-string quarterback, Drew Stanton. And that drive was probably the most important one of the game. He was 3 for 3, made a big play and put them out in front.
No, that's true, but if you're Jeff Fisher, you're going to say to your team tomorrow when you watch the film, guys, we played great football for 45 minutes, or we got blown out because the last 15 minutes we didn't do our jobs.
On 4th and 24. Pass is incomplete, so the Cardinals will take over with 49 seconds left. The Rams led 14-10 in the fourth quarter until the Cardinal avalanche. The OT is coming up after this game. Bruce Arians said about this Cardinal team, you know, the Super Bowl is 84 days away in this building here in Arizona. And he said in training camp, don't let another team move into your locker, right? The Super Bowl team, they go into the NFC locker. Some people said, that's a little too cocky.
Yeah, that's who Bruce Arians is, right? We all know him. We've all listened to him talk. He's blunt. He's very honest, and he doesn't want anybody in the locker room. And he wants players on his team to have that same mentality when the Super Bowl comes around.
Since 1987, when the Chargers started 8-1 and finished 8-7, all 35 teams that have gone 8-1 have gone on to the playoffs. And the Cardinals going to 8-1 for the first time since the 40s.
It would be hard to put somebody else in front of Coach of the Year, in front of Bruce Arians. The job that he did last year, the job that he's done so far this year with the injuries that Tiki.
One of us. Am I up here with
Sean Alexander? Am I up here
with Tim Hasselbeck today?
No. There you go. That's what we wanted. And next week here in Arizona, best records in the NFC. Arizona 8-1 will host the 7-2 Detroit Lions. And the Rams will fall to 3-6 as the Cardinals, in a tight battle in the NFC West, finish strong here in the fourth quarter for a 31-14 victory. And we will have more from the Valley of the Sun in just a moment.